flair. Comedy, culture, news, and life's sweet spice. Serve it up hot. Oh, it's always nice. Laughter echoes through the digital street. Friends catching up, ain't that a treat? Jokes that ring sharp as a knife. They dive deep, set your spirit alight. HollingsWorthless, yeah, tune in tight. Three pals jiving, everything feels right. From comedy to culture, every news bite they bring the light. On a Tuesday night. Hits the punchlines quick as a flash. Tyler's stories always crash. They drops wisdom like a silent storm. Together they create a show that's more. They talk about the life, the love, the strife. Turn on day moments into pure delight. Each Tuesday just feels right. It's more than a show, it's a piece of life. Culture served on a silver plate. News and views that resonate. The minute gold, you can hide your way. It's a weekly fix, don't be late. Culture served on a silver plate. News and views that resonate. The minute gold, you can hide your way. It's a weekly fix, don't be late.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless program. I'm one of your hosts, Big Irish J. Hollingsworth, and as today we have the dynamic duo, Dumb and Dumber, the two-man group, not the Blue Man, the two-man group, just the two of us. Starting with, you've seen him on Amazon Prime. He's part-time famous, full-time funny. Carlos Honey.
Yeah, we're here. What's happening, player?
It's kicking in.
Oh God, what is this? Pepsi or Mountain Dew? Which one?
Today it's fucking a little Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Oh, and you just took the whole bottle. You just like, I'm just gonna take the whole bottle just in case I want a refill, and I ain't got to get up and get it. It's right here. This is good old agua.
Agua, yeah. I just need a little pick me up. I could have done a 5-hour energy drink, but I just, I was like, fuck it. I'll just go with the soda with a little caffeine. Big day today. My album pre-sales are open and it releases. Thank you, my brother. And you, yeah, well, shit. When my next, well, here, let me finish the. So it releases on the 17th. The album releases on the 17th. We're trying to, do the pre-sales, and hopefully this we can get it to go #1 on iTunes. I don't know how people do that, so we'll see if what I'm doing is working. But and then the special, the video will be out later on. What up, BS Jeffrey?
What's happening, BS?
And yeah, I was gonna say my next album, whenever I record that, shit, you basically are seeing it being put together real time, like both of ours, so
Yeah.
like for those that don't know, like Carlos and I, we go out on the road a lot, and even in town we work all the time together, and we're good buddies, so we try and push ourselves, where we every month we're like, okay, you got to work on a new joke, you got to work on a new bit. And this last weekend we were in Pachanga, and I started doing this one about going to Ireland. And then Carlos last night, he was hosting, and he slipped his new one in the hosting set. And fucking even the setup, he got a laugh. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I walked into it, which, like I said, now that I've heard it, and now I know, I have a good idea of where I want to go with it. Well, I know, I mean, it's one way to go with the story, but because it is what it is. But now that I got it out, I can start trying to put the pieces together, as we talked about, on just improving it. So
Yeah, which is, I mean, it really is like the first one is obviously the first one's always the worst, but it's just getting it out of your mouth. Like when we were at Pachanga, when we were at Pachanga, the first night I did it, I actually started my set with that story, and it was it was fucking awful. But and then we were talking to the host, the host was talking to me, and he was like, "Oh, you should try and put this blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I just wanted to get it. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget it, because I'd forgot it on the first show." And I was like, I just wanted to get it out of my mouth. And then the rest of the shows, it's crazy. Just like one set, the very next set, it's already starting to get better, and it's just a matter of keep repping it. So
I think that's the beauty in it. Once we get it out, I think that first one is no different than being with a woman for the first time. You're like, let me just go ahead and get this out there. And then you're like, well, let me settle down now. Maybe I'm ready to make love now.
let me put some tricks on it.
Right. So I think that's the equivalent of how I think about it. It's like, all right, shit. Now we did that out. We got that out the way. Let's go ahead and settle down.
Yes. And it's funny because like about not everybody, I mean, how do I say this? When we're at different clubs, the comics that are on the show with us, whether it's a host and or a guest spot or whatever, they don't know, unless we tell them. They don't know that we have, like, where we're working at, we have to work out a new bit every weekend or every month. So like about a month ago, Carlos and I were someplace. I think the host's name was Bob. And he was trying to give like pointers or tags. I don't mind a tag, but it was almost like he was trying to tell both of us at different times like how to do comedy.
Pretty much.
and like sometimes I don't want to get into a big thing, being like big explanation. Well, yeah, no, I understand that, but there's a new bit. I'm just trying to get it out. Blah 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 blah. And it's just a fucking. And what did Bob say to you?
I mean, he kept trying to give me additional tags or telling me how I can extend out certain bits, and you're just kind of like, all right, man. I'm just trying to get this out. Like you said, I'm just trying to get this out. What's up, Victoria? Just trying to get this out so that I can hear it first, and then I know what to do it. Or even on some of the stuff that I've done before. That particular person was just kind of like trying to tell me how to punch up the joke. But again, we have so much time in between a feature and a headline. I said there's only so much time you can do it. You're trying to make sure that you do your job. Yeah. So yeah, it's always interesting to hear other comics' perspective on your set, and it's almost like, damn, well, should I be telling you about yours too? If so, then let's talk about it. Because.
Dude, and half the times, like when if I'm fortunate enough where Carlos is featuring, it's been about 50% of the time that Carlos has had to go up and clean up. Like either the host is not good or not getting them going, or there's a guest spot that fucking and It's so funny though, because Carlos sometimes he'll be like, "Well, guess I got to go rehost this." But I mean, it's like, I mean, that's one thing that's so dope about Carlos is he kills it in any spot you put him in. He was hosting last night and fucking did that new bit.
Yeah, I told you. I mean, I've gotten a lot better with just trying it because there are times I still be like, man, I don't want to do it today, but I've gotten better to not get the nerves out and just say it, because once you get it out there, then it's out there.
Yeah,
And it's, and like we just said earlier, it just kind of tails off then from, okay, now that I've said it, where can I go with this? Or
Yeah.
how do I build on this? So it's interesting. This process is always interesting when you're trying to build up the next hour to get to the next special. So that's what we're doing.
And don't you feel like even no matter how that first time it goes, as soon as you get off stage, you're like, oh fuck, I want to go do it again.
Right.
I want to go do it again. I already can see where I can do this. I can take this out, but I want to go. I want to go right now.
Oh yeah, because I'm like, we talked about it last night when I was setting that new joke up. It got a laugh, and I was like, that wasn't a punchline. I was just talking then. So
Yeah,
I was like, well, now I got to keep it in because let me see if that works again.
Yeah.
You know, so if it works again, and I know it's something that I'm just saying, I said in passing as a throwaway that actually needs to be within the bit. And so
yeah, that's why I always say, like with open mics. I mean, we talked about it before, but like when I did the comedy camp thing, and I was telling them, I'm like, you know, when you're trying to tell a story at an open mic, you know, sometimes it can be kind of frustrating, I guess, if you're like a newer comic, because you worry about you know, other shit when you're first starting out. But I told them, and I go, I don't know if this is good advice. This is just how I look at open mics, and I've always said that the open mic is for me. Like it, if I think of something in my head, I'm like, oh, that's funny, then it's funny. It's already I'm confident enough in myself and my ability and my views on comedy that if I think something's funny, then it's funny. It's just a matter of working out the bit. So I'm like, when I'm at an open mic, I don't need anybody to laugh to confirm if it's funny or not. I know if it's funny. I'm using the open mic and those people to get it out of my mouth, work on the rhythm of it. And then just like what happened with you when you did that last night, do they laugh at something that I didn't even recognize? And then I'll be like, oh, fuck, let me dig down on that now. Which is last night was a perfect example of that. Like, you're just setting it up and it fucking start fucking giggling.
So yeah, we're gonna build from there, man. Likewise with your Ireland big, we just building, man. I'm excited about the process because we got to get to that next special. I think that's the goal. So let's get to it.
Do you know what you're gonna name your next special?
I think I had. Well, I did. I said it had to be said. I had to look at my board. It had to be said. That's one of them. It had to be said. And another one, I think I said, you asked for it. So either you asked for it or it had to be said. And it's kind of trying to getting into those stories that I have never told before. That I've been wanting to say that I always shied away from. And I'm like, no, it's time. It's time. So
I think mine will either be, I think I told you this too, is I might, I just fucking tried to pour this left-handed and just poured it all over my fucking, Jesus Christ. Anyways, I'm either going to go with after, like before and after, or I might go, I'm leaning towards So Brave, just as like a smart ass. It's just so brave. But I wanted to, I'm trying to see if I have a fucking anything I can wipe this. Oh, here. Sorry. It's just the old hat. It was the fucking the hat we had for your fucking birthday.
Oh shit! Yeah, you didn't build it on the Kango.
Yeah, this thing was like $5. Anyways, that's what I spent on your birthday.
Well,
No.
Good to know.
No. Victoria, I know you. I don't know if you heard, but I was announcing that my album is up for pre-sale, but I wanted to tell the story of like it's crazy everything that went through to have this come out. And so I wanted to tell that story, which is fucking nuts. and I'm as I'm starting this, I'm trying to I don't want to give or like shit on certain people or whatever. Anyways, so we send our avails out to comedy clubs, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, whenever. And so now this is about, we're in 2025. When did COVID end?
2020.
Was it 20? Okay, this might have been around 2020. So I sent out an avail to a comedy club, a chain, you might say, and they had responded back and about dates, and then they also mentioned they said, by the way, we have a record label that I think they said they were starting, and BS Jeffrey, COVID never ends. Right. And they said they asked me, would you ever have an interest of doing like an album or anything? And I responded to them, and I was like, an album's cool, but I want a special. I want something like filmed and either up on Netflix or Amazon Prime, etc. They responded back, we can do that. We can do a 3-camera shoot. We can get it up on they said Netflix is pretty hard because Netflix has to want to buy your special and then they own it and then they put it up. But Amazon, they were like, we can definitely do that. And I was like, cool, 3-camera shoot, HD, all that. And so I sent them all my avails, and then they said, yeah, send us when you're free. And I even said to them, I was like, maybe something on the East Coast, that would be good, So then they responded back and they go, okay, St. Louis it is. So they give me a weekend in St. Louis, and they tell me I'm going to be featuring for Gareth Reynolds, who at the time didn't know who Gareth Reynolds was. He's on the podcast The Dollop, which I've never heard the podcast, but Gareth he's dope. He's great dude, very funny, and just a good dude. What up, Stormbreaker?
What's happening?
Stormbreaker, fucking Thor. So they told me I'm going to feature for Gareth that whole weekend. And then on Bob Rivers, a great man. What?
I don't know.
What's up, Sean? What is that? I don't even know what that means. I hope he didn't pass away. Pray a great man. Bob Rivers is that's Andrew Rivers' dad. Oh fuck, he did pass away. Fuck,
Bob Rivers.
So Andrew Rivers is a comic from Seattle. I think he still lives there. He traveled. He's always out on the road. But his dad is Bob Rivers. And Bob Rivers was a radio guy in Seattle, and okay. I guess I think he had cancer or something. I saw something posted. Fuck, I'm gonna have to hit up Andrew. Fuck, that sucks. R.I.P. Bob Rivers. Shit. Well, Sean, I'm in the middle of telling the story about the taping in St. Louis. So where we're at right now is, they had responded back. They said, yeah, we can do 3-camera, blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to be in St. Louis. And I'm going to be featuring for Gareth Reynolds through the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday, I'll headline. And they go, but we'll film all the sets. So you'll have all of them. And we should be able to, do it. Get a good taping from all of them, right? Cool. So that then changed to, okay, we're going to come in on Friday night and we'll tape the sets. To be in my late teens, 20. He was a really great guy to me in my late teens, 20. Oh shit, I didn't know that. I'll call you later, Sean. I want to hear about that. But so they're not going to tape the whole weekend. They're coming in, and actually I think they came in Saturday. I don't think they were there Friday. And it's not a 3-camera shoot. It's 2 cameras. One is stationary. One, the guy's going to fucking roam around, I guess, whatever. So Thursday night, I'm there in St. Louis. Again, I don't know anybody in St. Louis, but that's where they picked. And the room is maybe 20% filled, 20 or 25% full, right? And then the manager says to me, he goes, hey, to set expectations, just so you know, this is our best-selling show of the weekend so far. And then he says, yeah, And then he says, so tell everyone we'll give them free tickets to your show on Sunday. And I responded, well, who the fuck is everyone? I'm not from here. I don't know anybody. You guys picked this place.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, y'all asked for this.
So now I'm like, great. I'm going to have fucking 4 people at my album taping. And so it was in St. Louis. And the only person I knew that was in St. Louis or from St. Louis was Tahir Moore, the great Tahir Moore, who's a fucking awesome comic. And so I called Tahir and I go, where are you? And he, at the time he was in Boston with Kev on Stage. And I was like, dude, I know it's short notice, but would you host my special? I'll pay, fly you out, all that shit. And then I also told him, I was like, I don't know if anybody's even going to show up. He's like, bet. So he came out and we start just hustling. So, and also Gareth's audience is not my audience. Like, I don't know if they're very woke or whatever, but one of the shows I did a joke where somebody audibly goes boo, and then I looked over to him. Oh, it was the stripping's degrading joke about how stripping's not degrading, right?
Yes,
so
indeed.
I looked over and he was like, he was so proud of himself, and I just started laughing. I was like, oh yeah, there'll be other shit you don't like. So we, all those shows with Gareth. Again, Gareth is awesome. This is nothing about Gareth. He's fucking great. I love that dude. But all of the where those, if they were to tape them, would have been worthless. There's nothing I was going to get from those. So Sunday comes, and also I had told them I wanted some B-roll shit of because I had a bunch of buddies coming in. Sean was one of them, and I wanted to film some stuff like at an Irish pub, us sitting around and talking and shooting the shit and whatever. Oh, no problem. Huh?
Bar. Didn't they send you to a pizza bar?
Yeah. So they were at the, well, first they were like, yeah, no problem. The guy's telling me there's some city, I think they call it Dogstown. He's like, yeah, there's a bunch of Irish places. Yeah, we can film there. So the day before we're supposed to film, because we were going to film during the day Sunday at one of these Irish pubs, and then I taped the special Sunday night. During the day Sunday or Saturday, I couldn't find him, but my buddy owns a pizza joint. Well, I guess we're gonna have to do that because you fucking
you told me that.
Jesus Christ, man! Like Sean came out, Ryan Cott came out from Boston, Casey Courier. There's so many people came out. Yeah, Sean fucking remembers. And like, yeah, dude, when we were at the pizza joint, Sean, that was pretty much Sean's whole expression was like, bruh. So, and keep in mind, as all this is going on, like the low attended shows and then getting nothing from those shows, I still don't know how Sunday's going to be, right?
Right.
I'm telling everybody, I'm trying to offer free tickets to everybody. Our fucking Uber drivers, hey, free show Sunday, come to the thing. So Sunday comes, and also the person that was hosting for Gareth was this girl, and the manager comes in, we're all in there, and he asked me in front of everyone, including the girl, hey, you should give her a guest spot on your special because she could probably bring some people out. Well, I guess I'm going to now because you fucking just presented it right.
He presented to me under the bus.
Fuck, man. And I don't know if I can't remember even how she did, but I don't think she brought anybody. I don't think her. Anyways, Sunday comes. It's time for us to go see who's going to show up. By some, I don't know, a miracle, whatever, or from Tahir posting and blasting out and me or whatever. It's packed. It's actually the most packed of the whole weekend. So I'm like, okay, all right, well, this is good. Now let's see what we can do with this 2-camera shoot. So, and in the front row was one of my Uber drivers, right in the fucking front row, which was great. So I do my special, I do my set, and I get a standing ovation from fucking these people. I have no idea who they are. And I was like, holy shit. And Sean, I think Sean even said, he's like, you did it, man. You fucking did it. It worked out. I'm like, that's crazy, right? So I'm in the green room, kind of still coming down from the set. Oh, and also it was like the best set, one of the best sets I've ever had. Like, you know how you could have a great set, but you'll get done and you'll be like, oh fuck, I could have done this, or I wish I would have said that.
Right.
I like wouldn't have changed anything. So I'm in the green room, kind of decompressing, and the guy sticks his head and he's like, "Hey, great job. You know, we'll be in contact." Blah blah blah. This was, I think, like around May of 2020, I think. And I told him I was going to get some royalty-free, like Irish music we could put in there, right? Fast forward to, I think it was November. haven't heard a word from anyone. So I emailed the guy and I was like, "Hey, just wondering how it's going. I got some. I'm working on this royalty-free Irish music. Blah 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 blah." And then he says, "Oh, we didn't send you the?" I was like, "No, nobody sent me anything." And so he's like, "Okay." And I had talked to Kelsey from Laugh After Dark at the time prior to this, like maybe a few days before. And I was telling her, you know, like I filmed the special, oh shit, it's fucking going out. There's the new one too, a different one. So Kelsey was like, just so you know, Amazon had changed like how you submit stuff. And she's like, it's a little trickier now. You might want to make sure that they know, or just check with them. So I was like, all right. So I mentioned it to the guy. I was like, "Hey, I just heard that, you know, they've changed this. Do you know anything about that?" Blah, 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 blah. He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll get back to you." I think this is now January, like a full month and a half goes by. "Oh yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get it up on Amazon Prime. I know that was like your main thing." And
You think?
yeah, but if you want, you know, we can send you the video and you can do whatever you want. And I was like, "No, I'm good." I was so fucking pissed, dude. I was so fucking pissed off. Oh, and also the after party. I didn't even tell you about this. The after party, we went to this place in St. Louis, and we're like in this room. It's like this huge place, right? And it has like different sections, and we're in one room, and the people are smoking hookahs and chilling and stuff. All of a sudden, somebody runs in, and it had like, to get into the place, it had those like giant sliding doors, you know? So he runs in, turns, and slides the door shut. He goes, "Everybody get down. There's somebody with a gun." And I'm like, is this going to be released posthumously? Yeah, I'm like, is this going to be like, oh, he recorded the set and then it was shot? So we're like, what the fuck is going on? So we're now all laying down in this room. Then they go, "Okay, everybody go to this back room." So we go to this. It was like the size of a closet, and I'm like, well, it's good that we're all in here, so it'll be easier for him to just pick us off if he comes in here. And then they took us into another back room, and eventually they were like, "We're gonna have a security, or it's like an off-duty officer. We're gonna have him walk you to your car." So we're like, "Cool." As he's walking us, they were like, this is crazy." He's like, "Oh, this shit happens all the time." We're like, what the fuck, man?
Like, this is just another Sunday here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So that special that was filmed like 5 years ago, I don't know where the fuck it's at. I don't give a shit, but I just didn't want anything to do with it after so many changes and so many things were sacrificed, and then they fucking fucked it up basically. So I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to get a fucking special filmed and like get done with it. The panic room. Fuck yeah. The panic room. Yeah, exactly. And so now this is 2 years ago. I started comedy in Boston, and John Tobin presents. John Tobin he's kind of like the name, and he's like Boston comedy as far as like all the venues and everything. And his like Tobin's like right-hand guy is Ryan Cott, who Ryan is, he like manages a bunch of the clubs, and I mean, I don't even know what his title is. He does so much shit, but Ryan's also like a buddy of mine, like a good buddy. And so I was telling him that, you know, I want to get a special done, blah blah blah. So he says, you know, we could do it, and so we started talking and figured out we were going to do it at Off Cabot in Boston, and I think it's Beverly to be exact. But and he told me up front, he was like, you know, we don't have like a team that does specials, but he's like, I have a team that does like videography and editing and all this stuff. So he's like, we can do it. But he also let me know, he goes, once we film it, I can't promise you how fast we can get it edited. And I was like, I understand. So we filmed it, and it was like I think it was like a 3 or 4 camera shoot, HD. They did it up, and I was fucking happy with it. I'm really happy with it. And I had Scotty Lombardo bring me on stage for my special, who is also the person that brought me on stage the first time I ever went on stage. He's a buddy of mine. And so special got done. This was about 2 years ago. And so Cott and his team were editing it, but you know, it was taking a while because they have other responsibilities. They're not just for editing. And so Cott had told me, he was like, we can keep editing it, but I can't give you a definitive date when it'll be done, or I can give it to you and you can edit it. And so I was actually, Sean and I had talked, and we had talked about maybe having Sean edit it, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I eventually got it, and then talked with Laugh After Dark, and they're good with they know Cott, and they're everybody's friends. And so they worked it out. Long story short, Laugh After Dark edited it. And we're putting it up under John Tobin Presents with Laugh After Dark, and it's all done. It's fucking edited. It's releasing St. Patty's Day. The pre-sales are up. What were we gonna say?
Did you just say long story short? Did you just say long story short? I know.
Short? I've been talking for 30 minutes on this. I mean, it's a long story. I can't have it. Long story long.
You said all that to get to the point. The fact of the matter is that we're here. We said all that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you know. I just want to give you a quick recap.
Oh my God!
How dare you, Victoria?
Shit, how much longer was this story gonna be? If that was the short version.
Okay, so let me go over the set with you. So I came out, and Scotty brought me up, and no.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta get somebody to call me so I can get the fuck out of here. Sound familiar?
So okay, everybody's just shitting on me. God damn it. Don't forget that, Carlos, because I want to bring that up too. That's so funny. Yeah, so the pre-sales are up. You can get it on Amazon or iTunes, and then it releases on Monday, St. Patty's Day, March 17th.
I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, to purchase this album pre-sale right now, it's going to be shorter than that story we just heard. It's going to be a lot shorter than that story. All you got to do is one button. It's one button, one click, and you're done.
The whole album might be shorter than that fucking story.
You purchased it and you there. So there we go.
So that's actually a perfect segue for what happened this weekend. Do you want to tell the story? You tell the story.
Which one?
About having somebody call.
So listen, we Jay and I be on the road, and we always meet people, and they love to talk to us. I don't know why, but they love to talk. And when I say talk, they be talking.
Like my short stories.
Yeah, pretty much. So needless to say, Jay left me hanging on somebody's long story. He had Angel give him a call so that he could get the fuck out, while I had to sit there and just take it. And I kept trying to walk away. But he just kept going on and on.
Dude, it was a guy that was telling us a story. Well, he was telling us multiple stories, but he was telling us a story where he kept like building up to a point in a story, and then he would hit that point, and well, first you're like, oh, is this the finale? And then he would hit that point, but then it was like, nope, there's more. And so you keep waiting for like, okay, is this the end? And so then when he this first story he was telling us was like 10 minutes long and just had no fucking point at the end. And then when he saw that we like really, it wasn't like at the end we were like, oh shit, that's crazy, or fuck, that's so funny. We were kind of just like, oh, okay. And then when he realized that he didn't get like a big reaction, I think his brain was like, oh fuck, I gotta find another one. As soon as he started that second one, I immediately grabbed my phone and I text Angel and I was like, call me ASAP. I'll explain when you call. So the guy starts telling his next story. My phone rings. Angel's calling me. I go, oh fuck, I got to take this to my girl. So I get up and I fucking leave. And when I answered, she just goes, is everything okay? What's going on? And I was like, oh no, everything's fine. I go, this guy just wouldn't shut the fuck up. So I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. And then Angel's first thing was, wait, you left Carlos? I go, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. So I gotta give me a lady now, just so I can have an emergency contact call, because that made no sense at all.
As my dad would say, it's I put the turd in your pocket.
Yeah, two. In both pockets. Yeah, I don't.
Fuck, dude.
Hey, man, people be talking. And they just be talking. And I'm like, okay, man. At some point, you would think, like you were saying just a second ago, you would think at the end it would be like, oh, this old shit moment. Like, God damn, that was crazy, or that was dope, or that was like, nah, it's
just $5 a call. Victoria,
you better talk sweet nothings for $5 a call.
She will.
You said what?
She will.
No, okay. Well, then okay, it might be worth the $5 then. All right.
Oh man, it's so funny though, dude.
But then Jay Post, we'll talk about it here. Jay also had someone interrupt the very first show. The very first show out the gate. Was it? That was the first show.
I don't think it was the first show.
No, it was the first show, because that show was more packed, and so it wasn't the second one where there was that group of people sitting in the front. The one that gave me the $100 tip.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't that show?
Okay.
So she was on the first show and just felt the need to just get up and walk up. If y'all haven't seen it, go check out Jay's page. Just walk up and just start holding a conversation right in the middle of the goddamn show.
It's she heard, she was drunk and she heard the name Kaepernick. Literally, she heard Kaepernick, and so that triggered her to stand up. She didn't know in what context or how it was said in the joke or anything, but she heard Kaepernick and then decided to get her fucking happy ass up and walk all the way up to the stage. And and she's like, you're talking shit. And she's like, first of all, Raiders. And I was like, yeah, I mentioned the Raiders. Yeah. And she's like, you're talking about Kaepernick? And I'm like, okay. It's so funny too, because, when I posted those, I mean, it happens on both sides, whether you're Republican or Democrat or whatever, but somebody was like, yeah, typical liberal, fucking something about it, or liberals. And I go, it wasn't about her being a liberal. She was fucking drunk. Yeah. The use your mouth thing, Sean. Yeah. She tried to grab the mic and I go, just use your mouth. I'm sure you're used to that.
Yeah, but controversy and people's opinions drive content. And so it's great that person says that, but I'd edge them on even more, because then it gets people to start talking and arguing amongst themselves, and then you let them do what they do while they run up the numbers. But that lady she was clearly batshit crazy. Her boyfriend, I was in the back of where he was doing this the whole time. Like, he didn't know what to say, what to do. Instead of getting up and going together, he was just like, I'm gonna let this ride out and see how this shit unfolds. But it was so uncalled for. Uncalled for. But somebody, I might be in the back saying, man, you ought to be offended. Don't go to a fucking comedy show. It's like, I don't know what else to tell you. People are now taking their unhappy asses to comedy shows looking to be offended.
Yeah. And Stormbreaker says, always wanted to ask a comedian. We'll try and do our best. How do both of you guys go about handling hecklers? Do you guys like always have the second pistol loaded for them? That's a good question, and a good second part of that question. I'll let you can, if you want to go first, Carlos, how you want to address
I've
that.
definitely learned because I ate it a couple of times on hecklers. It was part of my boo segment with you when we did that. But I've learned to adjust to the moment. Whatever's happening in that moment with that person, then you have to address it. You have to shut it down quickly, because if not, then I feel like they get control of the audience. And that's what you really don't want, is for the audience to start jumping on the heckler side. And now you battling an uphill battle. Plus, you can't also be so hard on them either, because that'll turn the crowd against you too, depending on what you're saying to them. So it is walking a fine line, but I think you have to do it professionally, and that just takes time from being a comic to learning how to do it, and how to do it in such a professional way that you just like, hey man, I'm gonna shut you down, and then I'm gonna go on back to my show, and you're gonna sit your ass down and be quiet, or you can leave. But yeah, you always have it in the, I don't know, sometimes I don't have it in the back of my mind all the time, but I know when I'm going into a show, when I see that people are talking more than usual, before I get up, then I'm like, okay, let me be prepared for somebody to yell out something, and then it stays in the back of my mind to just be on guard.
Yep. And there'll be sometimes, I don't know if you're like this, Carlos, but like, if you're headlining or whatever, and you're watching the other comics, and maybe there's one person in particular that's mouthy, and then I will start putting bullets in the chamber, like, oh, look at this dude's shirt or this guy's face and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, it's in the back. If this guy says shit, I'm gonna fucking destroy him. Like, I remember it was in Seattle, and there was a couple. There was a dude. There was a guy with like an older lady, and the guy, she was fine, but the guy was just being a prick. He was drunk and he was hammered, and he's fucking, or actually, I don't know if he was hammered, but he was just an asshole, and he's heckling like every comic, and he was sitting right up at the front. And he was drunk, because I remember I was like watching him. I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. So as I just waited, and as soon as he said something, I told him straight up, I go, you're hammered, so I'm not really going to fuck with you. But your girl, I'm going to destroy her. I'm going to make her cry, and you're going to have to deal with that for the rest of the night. So you can keep talking, and I'm not even going to worry about you. I'm going to just fucking destroy your girl. And the dude he got up and left. Both of them left. But I was so ready to just, what's up?
He's like, I'm not putting up with this shit tonight.
Yeah, I told her too. I told her, I go, I'm sorry, but you're going to be collateral damage, because I'm going to fucking destroy you because of your man. And so they got up and left. And also with hecklers, like Carlos knows this from us working together all the time, is if I'm tired, I won't necessarily keep it light and fun. Like if I'm tired, so I'm like kind of like, man, I'm gonna fuck it. I go pretty hard pretty quick. But if I'm rested and then I can usually try and, what'd you say?
You've had your Snickers.
Yeah, exactly. I can keep it pretty light. And there's also Stormbreaker. There's also there's different kind of hecklers too, where I mean, you have like a heckler that they don't even know they're heckling, but like you say a punchline, you're like blah blah blah, and then the dog ran away, and then the person's like, oh man, the dog ran away, and they're fucking like repeating everything you say, and that can throw your rhythm off as a comic. And then as far as your comment, Stormbreaker, about like second pistol loaded for them, you'll say stuff in the moment, and like it'll hit, and so you'll be like, remember that. And so like Carlos, the first time I ever said something, and now it's like it's a stock line I'll use, but we were at Mic Drop, and do you know which one I'm talking about, Carlos?
You're talking about the open mic.
Yeah. Tonight. And dude, and I hear your laugh on that video that but we were at Mic Drop, excuse me, and just doing a show, and this lady kept, I don't even remember, she kept like, she was like commenting, and I said something about insurance or something, and she's like, yeah, they don't something, and And at the time, I just in the moment, I was like, I'm sure there's an open mic here. I don't know what night it is, but it's not tonight. And but now I have that as like, I'll that's in the back pocket if I need it, I'm just trying to think of other things with hecklers too. Like, Greg Fitzsimmons, great comic. He did like a blog, like this is probably 10 to 12 years ago, but he did a blog and it almost broke down how to deal with hecklers. And he said, this is all off memory, but it was something to the effect of, he's like, the heckler says something. He's like, first turn towards the heckler. And then he said, repeat what the heckler said. And that's so that the whole audience knows what they're saying. Because if somebody said something, says like, oh, your shoes, and nobody can hear it, and you're just like, oh, well, fuck you. It's just like, Jesus, why does this guy just tell that guy to fuck off, or whatever? Right. But he like broke down like a good way to deal with hecklers. It said like, address or repeat what the heckler said, and then it said, as you're doing that, scan the heckler to find any kind of physical defects or anything you can comment on. And then it said, once you start going at them, do not let up. Do not let up. It's so funny. And Fitzsimmons is a great comic. But I hope that answered your question, Stormbreaker. And if you have any other questions, let us know.
I saw a heckler destroy a comic. This was several years ago. But when I say I couldn't stop laughing, it was only because not only did he not handle it, it was such a weird thing. It was an all black room. Dude gets up there and he wasn't doing well. And the heckler on the back said, "Man, take that fucking stupid ass hat off." And then it was like, he didn't say anything to that. And he tried to keep going. It was like, once black audiences know they have you, then it became a popcorn effect. And they started yelling. People started saying shit to him. And he was like, all right, yeah, I guess I'm going to go ahead and get out of here right now. And this dude just disappeared. He disappeared. There was only one way into this place. And there was another room on the other side. But he went into that room and we never saw him again. I never saw him again. I was like, wow. But I say all that to get to the point where you have to be prepared for anything. And even if you don't have anything, you better have some good material to jump, to springboard off into something else, because it can get pretty rough pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you can also, I've always wondered, where do you get your ideas from? Shut the fuck up, Sean. I know that's not a real fucking question. And also, I was going to tell you, Stormbreaker, I just lost it because I read Sean's stupid fucking question.
Wisdom kicking in.
It is. The isdom. What was the fucking thing about the heckler? There's also certain tricks you can do too. Like if somebody's been annoying through everybody's set, through everyone's, through all, like the host, the guest spot, the feature, and your headlining or whatever, and they're still doing it. There's certain tricks you can do. Like you also can feel the energy. Like if people are tired of somebody, like they're not funny, obviously, but where a lot of comics will say, hey, look, man, a lot of people, paid good money to come out to the show. Everybody's, people pay for babysitters, blah, 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 and nobody paid to, and then the audience will have your back and they kind of get on your side. And that's kind of like a stock response that a lot of comics will do. I don't think I've ever kicked anyone out though. Like sometimes, I remember seeing a video of, I think it was I'm pretty sure it was George Carlin, where he didn't even really like try and have a witty comeback for a heckler or something. Like somebody heckled and he was like, get the fuck out. Get out right now. It's like, God,
I better do a job. I ain't got time for it.
Yeah. Which there's all kinds of different ways. It's like, ideally, you want to keep it funny. You want to have something funny and shut them down quick, like Carlos was saying. But if I'm tired, I'll go pretty hardcore and try and hurt feelings pretty quick.
Yeah, you were extremely nice to that lady that night. I was expecting tired Jay. I was like, oh, this is about to get real good, but no, it didn't sound like that.
It was somebody, when I posted it, somebody goes, "You were very kind." I think it was Mary Upchurch. Mary Upchurch, like, "You were very kind to her," and I was like, I mean, I wasn't like in my head. I was like, I'm going to be nice to her. It's just wherever that's another thing, Stormbreaker. You have to really be in the moment. Like, if you're a comic that isn't good at riffing or being in the moment, like if you're a comic that you're like, I have my set and I do not deviate from it. I don't want anybody to say anything. Then you can you could be fucked, So you got to really be in the moment when you're dealing with hecklers,
Yep.
What else? You get it, Victoria McCannibal. Here, let's do our plugs, because I have to go. I'll call you and tell you why, but I do have to go. I know. Don't be like that. Come on. Let's do our plugs. You want me to, here? I'll do a plug for you. I'll do your plug for you.
Go ahead.
All right. All right, guys, this is Carlos here. What's up? What's up, lady? I'm single. What's up, girl?
What the fuck was that?
Carlos this weekend. Carlos this weekend will be at Laugh Boston, Massachusetts, March 14th and 15th, St. Patty's Day weekend, with Big Irish Jay and Friends show. And what else you got, Carlos?
Yes. Weird.
Yes. Your green screen is fucking it up.
I don't have a green screen.
I know, but you have you have it on in your options.
Well, yeah. So after that, then where am I at? I'm just check out parttimefamous.com. I got several things coming up. I'm headlining in Dallas. I got shows at LA Comedy Club, Jimmy Kimmel's. Going to New Orleans. It's a lot going down. It's a lot going down.
And I will be Big Irish Jay and Friends this weekend in Boston. Then I'll be in Boise, Idaho. And then I'm going to be in Utah. And then I'm going to be in Philadelphia, New Jersey. Go to bigirishjay.com for tickets and dates. And until next week, thanks, everybody. Please check out the album. Get the pre-sale.
Check it out.
Yeah. And until next week, thanks, everybody. I love you. Bye.
Peace.